You are listening to an episode of Financial Insight with Rob Wilson. Our mission is to change the speed of wealth creation for you and your family. We invite you to visit our website, IamRobWilson.com. Be sure to like, comment, and share. Now get ready to change the speed.
Hello, this is Les Brown, Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. Whenever you're faced with any kind of challenges financially, make sure you listen to Rob Wilson. He'll provide for you solutions and remedies that will change your life.
Okay, guys, welcome back to another financial episode of Financial Insight with Rob Wilson, changing the speed of wealth creation. Today, I have a special guest on with me, all the way out of North Carolina. You know, my goal is to help you change the content of how you review and see financial information. So I can't do this by myself. So I went out and got another financial professional to bring into the fold to help you. Now, understand something. You're going to get her information at the end of this interview, but you also are going to be able to reach out to her and find out other things so that she can help you directly, because you can't get it all in this one setting, and you won't get it. But what you will find out is her professionalism. Joining me today is none other than Rachel Gerald. She is a financial professional. She's a financial coach. She's been in the business for a long time. She has her own financial background, her interviews on TV, radio, with the military, with the credit unions. You go down the list of things. She's done it. She's been there. She's seen a lot of things. Her company is it's Personal Financial Change. And, you know, you can go to the website, personalfinancialchange.com. Go there now and visit her. Go ahead and check out what she's doing and where she's at. And now you'll be able to listen to her content. Rachel, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Rob. Thanks for having me on.
No, thank you for coming on. You know, you and I have been going back and forth, you know, for a few months now. And I have been telling you how I want to work more with you, more closely with you, because I like the way that you offer alternatives in the financial arena to individuals. Tell us more about that. Tell us what you do. Tell us about personal financial change and how you impact and change individual lives.
That's a great question. So what we do, we break down and allow people to change the way that they're handling their personal finances one paycheck at a time. We don't want to get too big of a scope. We just want to keep it simple, keep it plain, and break it down Barney style. But personal finances is not hard. It's just something that people are uncomfortable talking with. So when they meet with me, I make it comfortable, I make it relaxed, and then it allows them to open up to share what they're actually doing with their money. And this may be something that they've been taught from generations to generation. But when they come meet with me, we're breaking that generational curse that seems to keep them bound and from moving forward with saving, with investing, with having adequate life insurance for their family. So that's what our scope is. We reached out to the military. We reached out to people who are transitioning from getting out of jail, getting out of prison, people who are in the women's shelter, the men's shelter, people who just need someone to see where they're at with their personal finances and walk with them one step at a time.
So you basically, what I hear you saying is, like, you know, if you are in transition, you know, you need to understand that financial situations can be sustainable. And so you're taking people through that process, right? So
yes,
now that's not saying that, hey, listen, if you're not in a transitional period of your life, you can still help those as well.
Oh, of course. I have single people, I have married people that I counsel, but my passion, I guess I would be single parents, because I was a single parent for 21 years. My daughter was 21. I'm now married to an amazing man who understands my passion and pushes me to get out there to explain what I'm doing and why I see the benefit of this, just meeting other people like yourself and partner with them. Because like you said in the beginning, I can't do this by myself. This is bigger than both of us combined.
Yes.
So we have to tag team each other. But yes, I help anyone who's not in transition and just someone who wants to make a difference in their personal finance, because they work too hard to not have anything to show for.
You know, I told a story one time. I wrote a blog, and it's still circulating out there somewhere. It's called Manipulating Women. And you just made a comment about you being a single parent for 21 years. And the story was how women, and you probably need to take that from me. You can have that, manipulating women. Okay, you can really have that. Okay, because you will probably relate to it much differently than I. I did it from a counseling perspective, but what we did was I talked about how women who are single parents will make it from month to month, every month. They manipulated situations well enough to get the family through. The lights was on, the gas was on, the rent was paid, the mortgage was paid, food was on the table, the kids had school clothes. And they manipulated all month long, month after month after month after month. There was only one problem. They did not include savings in that process. They did not include something for themselves in that process. So if you got to manipulate one way, manipulate the whole process, put you in there. What's your thoughts on that?
I love that. That's an amazing concept that you put together. And I also, especially with the single parents, whether you're a single parent male or you're a single parent female, to not just rely on that child support. Your child needs you to be able to manage what you have coming into the household. So because your child support that you're supposed to receive, whether it's court order or not court order, may not be consistent. So I don't want you to have that to be your main income that's coming into your household, because that child support is just one part of that child. So that child doesn't want to, our lights got turned off. A child won't understand that. So if you can manage your income, because your income is your biggest wealth building tool. And as a single parent, you have to utilize that tool in many different factions.
So we're going to have a lot of single women listening to this broadcast over and over and over again at some point. What are some steps that you would recommend to single women to help them, begin to manipulate their financial situation to their advantage?
I would definitely tell them to have multiple streams of income, because if you get laid off from your job, then that's going to put you in a situation of relying on that child support. So if you have to work 2 part-time jobs, if you have to have a side hustle that's going to help bring in some income for your family, you need to do that. But you need to be honest with yourself. That child is here. You need to do something to make sure that that child knows that they're in a stable household. And that stable household is keeping the lights on, keeping the water on, having basic food and clothing, and having the basic, not even the technology, but just the basics in their household. So you may be able to, hey, it's your birthday this month. We're not going to be able to go and have an exaggerated, extravagant birthday. So you can scale back, but you have to be realistic and get your children involved with the money decisions of the household. Have them see how you're sitting down each month. This is what we have coming in. This is what we have going out. I understand you want to go to this sporting event. I understand that you want to do this with your friends, but right now we don't have the time. And for a season, you may have to say no, because no is your biggest tool that you're going to have to use in getting your personal finances in order.
When you're talking to single moms like this, and you're telling them to have multiple streams of income, does childcare ever become an issue? How do they navigate that process?
Childcare is definitely a big issue. One of my clients, she's 21 years old, and her childcare is $740 a month.
Wow.
So if they don't have a job, a job is only paying $1,000 a month, most of their income is going to that childcare. So you have to find ways and connect with other single parents, or wherever you're helping watch each other's kids. But you got to do something where you're going to transition from, okay, it's $740 this month. What can I do to bring that down? Maybe I'm not going to have my child in daycare 5 days a week. Maybe I can partner with somebody else where we can watch each other's kids for 3 days a week. So you have to have a strong support system where you're at, because it's going to help me. My mother and my father were very helpful for me when I was in the military, and I did 20 years. So some people, that's unheard of being a single parent in the military, and I had 3 children. Wow. So, and I also deployed 3 different times, but I still made sure that my household was taken care of.
Wow. Well, I guess the burden is on single households, single family households, or even single income households.
Income,
You know,
correct.
because you can still have two parties in the house, and because there's only one income, you can still have that same struggle.
That's
Wow.
true.
Wow. So tell me, what are some of the unique things that you've seen in which you've been able to give people information to help them transition from one aspect of their life to the next?
One of my most, and this is most recent, my client, she's a single parent. She's been written for quite a while. I've been working with her for the past 3, 4 years. And June 1st, she moved into her first home. So she's a first-time home buyer, $231,000 home with 1% interest rate.
Okay. Wow.
So she learned to manage what she has coming in, save up some money. She even put a down payment on her home. So it's being able to utilize the income that you have to reach your long-term goal of becoming a homeowner. And she's already working on paying off that house early.
Wow. Wow. What are some investment strategies, and maybe I shouldn't say investment strategies. What are some steps to transition from, I've been working, I've now began to save. Now I need to move beyond just having an emergency savings. I need to build something. How do you coach that? What are some of the steps that you ask people to take?
It's a great question. So my steps is I tell them that portions of your income you need to set aside for giving, you need to set aside for saving, and then you need to set aside for living. But a portion of that saving is, like you said, investing. So I have a financial advisor that I groom my people so that when they do talk to the financial advisor, they'll understand how much of their income that they can utilize to start building wealth. Because if you want to break that generational curse and you want to leave an inheritance to your children's children, you have to now position yourself to build wealth, and that's with long-term investing. So I'm not a financial advisor, but he breaks it down Barney style, just like me. He has a passion of teaching my clients and not just pushing products on them, because no one wants to utilize a product that they don't understand. So they have to do some mutual funds, do the Roth IRAs, the traditional IRAs, but they have to also evaluate what their risk level is. And a lot of clients, especially now with the market, their risk level is, oh, I'm panicking. And that's not what you want to do when it's time for investing. You want to be able to ride the wave. You want to be able to buy and sell, buy when it's low and sell when it's high.
Right, right. One of the things that I found out when I was coaching budgeting and trying to get people to transition, I would tell people that you need to learn the rule of 72. And they were like, the rule of 72? Yeah, the rule of 72 is when you double your money. And they go like, oh, yes. Okay. But oftentimes the rule of 72 will discourage them, because you tell them, okay, well, it's like this. You're going to save $1,000. And so you're going to get a 6% annual return. And so now it'll take you this long to double your money. And the first thing that they do, they look at the rule and they take the 6% divided into 72, and they say, it's going to take 12 years to double my money. And then they want to abandon the idea. They think 12 years is too long. And it's like, that's just you doubling your money if you do nothing else and you earn 6%. But you want to accumulate. You want to make monthly deposits. And then I tell them about Rule 115. And they go, Rule 115, what is that? Well, that's how you triple your money. That's the time frame of you tripling your money. Well, how do I do that? Well, you do that the same way you do the Rule of 17. Take the interest rates, you divide it into the number, and you're determined. And so it's very, sometimes I found it to be, I don't know if you've experienced this, when you tell people that their goals can be reached, but the time arising seem long to them, they have to learn that's not a bad thing. It's time value on money. So do you ever see that struggle, or do you experience that with your people?
I do, but then I also break down to them compound interest, because the more that you are able to start setting aside early on in your life, the more your money begins to grow forward. I have a 19-year-old client. He started investing only $125 a week, Rob. $125 a
Only?
week.
Only?
Only.
Okay. Okay.
Only $125 a week. But by the time he reached the age of 40, he's going to be a millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
So when I sat down and he talked with the financial advisor and he sees it for himself, because he already told the financial advisor, I'm going to be able to contribute even more than $125 a week. But right now, this is what I'm comfortable with doing. So
Mm-hmm.
at that young age, he's already set himself up for success.
Right. And you know, it's amazing because time value on money is just a magnificent thing. You know, it's good to know that you can double your money. It's good to know that you could triple your money. But then there are ways and processes that you can quadruple your money. There's investments and there's other things that change the dynamics. But the basic thing is you starting off, you transitioning, you moving from paycheck to paycheck, simply need to do something different. Give the audience some unique steps that you would recommend for all of them to do so that they can potentially change the course of their financial life. Also, share with them how and what they will be able to gain by communicating with you directly and setting up some time so that they can chat with you and get an assessment on where they should go.
Most definitely. So a few of the about 5, 6 tips that I would give out is to first acknowledge or look at what you're actually bringing into your household. And the place where you can see that at is your pay stub. You will be amazed at how many people don't actually look at their pay stub to see what their income should be, what they should be paid per hour, and seeing what the deductions are coming out. So once you identify how much you have coming in, then you have to start seeing what you have going out, whether it's your bills, whether it's your debt, or whether it's just your regular household expenses. So once you identify that, what you have coming in minus what you have going out, then you can see what you have to play with. So those three right there will now lead you to step number 4, and that's cutting out the fat. And some of that fat may be gym memberships that you're not utilizing. It may be some subscriptions that you're not utilizing, but ways that you can cut out the fat so that you can make sure that you have additional income that's staying in your household instead of going out. Step number 5 is just to keep it simple. Don't make it too much of a broad financial plan that you're going to not be able to stay on. So you have to make sure that your budget is realistic. And then you have to do this, make sure that your budget is done every month. Each financial plan that you're doing each month is going to be different. So what you're doing in January is going to be different from what you're doing in June. So once you understand that, you're like, okay, this financial plan is going to work because it's going to take 3 to 4 months of you consistently doing a financial plan for you to like, okay, I can get this, I can do this. Now, why haven't I been doing this before? So even if you've never done a budget before, or if you've done a budget before and you stopped doing it, I'm going to ask you that you please consider doing it again, because this is going to help you, it's going to help your children, and then it's going to help other people that's connected with you. If all of the people in your circle don't have a financial plan, none of them are investing, none of them are saving, you need to change your financial circle because there's strength in power. So once you identify that you have some now financial power to save, to invest, and even to give to charitable donation, you're going to see your peace that comes upon you when an emergency happens. Even if you have a flat tire, I now have an emergency fund because I'm giving, saving, and I'm living off of my income, and I'm being practical with what I'm doing with my personal finances. Practical, yes.
Yeah.
But cutting, Rob, believe it or not, cutting out the fat is what a lot of people, they don't even realize. But if you're smoking, you still need to put smoking in your budget. If you drink, you still need to put drinking or alcohol in your budget. If you're trying to plan for some family vacation.
So whoa. So if you're doing those things, right,
mm-hmm.
Why are you saying they still need to be in the budget?
Because it's taken away from their income.
Okay.
And even if they're gambling, if you know you're a gambler and you come sit with me, I'm not going to judge you. But you need to make sure that you're allowed a certain amount of money each month to go buy your lottery tickets, to go buy the scratch off, because I don't want you to come sit down with me saying you're going to do it one way, and then once you leave my office, you go and do it whatever way you want, and then expect to reach those same goals.
Yeah. Go ahead, finish your statement.
Because the definition of insanity is to continue to do the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result. So if you never stayed with a budget, but you want to have money saved, it's not going to work if you're not going to be consistent with it.
You know, what I heard you saying, and pardon me for interrupting, but I got excited about it, because what I heard you saying is that, hey, listen, if you got bad habits in your life and you know that these bad habits are a part of who you are, well, you know, you might need to change them, but right now you need to put them in the budget. Because if I tell you that you're going to have to budget without those, you're not going to budget.
They're not.
Not going to budget.
And then they're setting themselves up for failure.
Wow.
Yeah. So you definitely have to be honest with yourself. If in 20 years from now, I want to become a millionaire, then what are you going to do between now and 20 years? There has to be some type of change, personal, financial change.
Wow. I like the way you bought that. So tell them how can they reach you?
They can reach me at www.personalfc.com or at my email address, rgerald, Gerald, @personalfc.com.
Now, any final thoughts on, you know, to motivate them? Any final words to motivate them?
Yes. I've been where you're at right now. Although you may think that your financial mess that you've done for the past 5, 10, 15, 20 years may not be able to change, I'm looking at you today and I want you to understand that it can change. But you have to realize that I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I want to be different. Contact me if you want to be different. I have a judge-free zone. I'm going to walk with you all along the way, and I want you to see how the changes that you're making today is going to be for the better.
Wow, that's awesome. All right, guys, well, listen, this is going to conclude Financial Insight, changing the speed of wealth creation, changing the speed of, you know, financial independence, changing the speed of transitioning from paycheck to paycheck, changing the speed of doing everything that you want to do financially in your life. You know, it really begins with you making a simple step. And I really, you know, she said, keep it simple, And that was powerful. Listen, be sure to share this, be sure to comment, be sure to communicate, be sure to support it. You know, check out our other podcast page. It's IamRobWilson.com. You'll find other broadcasts there as well. We want and we are committed to changing your financial life forever. Thank you so much, Rachel.
Thank you for having me, Rob. I look forward to partnering with you again.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. Personal financial change, money management done your way. Hey, guys, listen. This is the conclusion. We'll talk to you on the next episode. Tune in.
You have been listening to an episode of Financial Insight with Rob Wilson. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our podcast. Visit IamRobWilson.com and hear additional episodes. Also, support our mission as we take financial literacy to every house. Remember, every decision that you make either brings you closer to or removes you further away from your financial goals.